I'm going to do the same thing for our daikon. I'm going to cut it about the length of our nori, and then I'm going to use, I haven't used this specialty peeler before on the daikon, so it'll be interesting. If I can't, then I'm going to just slice this into small sticks. All right, so here is our pickled daikon, and it's actually, I just tried it. It is not firm enough. It's not as firm as a carrot or a cucumber. I can't use this tool on it. It's not working. So I'm just gonna have to slice this into long, thin strips, okay? The timer's gone off, and now let's see what it looks like. Okay. So the rice is cooked up, nice and fluffy. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get it into this bowl and stir it with our sushi seasoned vinegar. So 5 tablespoons sushi rice vinegar that was seasoned. And I'm gonna stir it with a wooden spoon. I don't have my wooden spoon, sushi spoon from Japan. I have no idea where it is since I just moved, but there is a paddle and it's shaped flat. It's not like a wooden spoon that's shaped like a bowl, and that's what you use to stir this. All right, so here is our sushi rice vinegar seasoning. Just pour that all over, and then just stir it around gently. You don't want to break up all the rice kernels. Ooh, it smells good. All right, get that all coated, and then we're gonna cover it with some plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator and let it cool for 20 minutes before we can use it to make the sushi rolls, the maki rolls. You can see how nice, light, and fluffy this is. Ooh, steam still coming out. All right, so I'm just gonna keep stirring it to make sure every grain is coated with some of that sushi seasoning. Cover it with plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator for 20 minutes. So while I have the rice cooling in the refrigerator, I'm gonna start getting my plate prepared for presentation. So here is our pickled ginger, and you always wanna serve your sushi with a nice, generous pile of ginger. And I'm just gonna put that right there on the plate. And Japanese food is always a lot about presentation. And I always want to make sure everything looks the most presentable it can be. Now, we have our wasabi. And this is already prepared wasabi, so I should be able to just squeeze it out of the tube onto the plate and make a nice little cluster of it, and it's usually served right next to the ginger. There are some wasabis that are powders, and you rehydrate them with water and create the mixture yourself. So let me get this open and I'll show you. All right, so there we have our little mound of wasabi. And once you've opened this, it needs to be stored in the refrigerator. Same with the pickled ginger. They both need to go in the refrigerator once you're finished using them for your preparation. Okay, it's been cooled, and leave the plastic wrap directly on the sushi rice because you don't want it to dry out. So we're gonna start off with our mat, and we're gonna put, see there's 2 sides to the nori. There's the shiny side and the dull side. And we're gonna put the shiny side down on the mat. And then we're gonna put rice over it and leave an inch border at the top, okay? Now I have this measuring cup full of cold water. Whenever you're touching the rice, you have to wet your fingers, all right? Otherwise it'll stick. So we're just gonna spread this out, and you want a really thin layer because you're rolling this up. So always wet your fingers each time, otherwise they'll stick incredibly. So I'm gonna spread this out, and we wanna leave a 1-inch border at the top. And we're going to spread this all the way to the edges. And again, we don't want a really thick layer. You just want a thin layer. So you can keep spreading this out. Okay, so I've got the rice covering it. And you can put some wasabi down, not too much, you know, a little tiny bit there, there. and run your finger over it to spread it out. Now, not everybody likes wasabi, so if you don't, obviously do not put it in. And if you have guests coming over to eat your sushi with you and you're not sure, leave it out so they can always add it. I mean, that's why you put it on the plate, so everyone can add it if they like it. All right, but I'm putting this in here so you can see. I do like wasabi. And then I'm gonna sprinkle some sesame seeds over it as well. Not too many, just, you know, a little bit over here. And now I'm using untoasted sesame seeds, but also you could toast your sesame seeds in a dry frying pan until they get a little golden. That'll add sort of like a toasted sesame flavor to it, so that makes it even more interesting. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make our cucumber, our kappa. Kappa is cucumber in Japanese, and I'm gonna make our kappa maki roll. This one I'm gonna do it with both cucumber and carrot, so you can see what it looks like. It's quite pretty. Now, I like to sometimes leave them sticking out, so not too much because they won't stand up, but a little bit sticking out, so that way it looks interesting. And again, I cut these so that they should be about the length of the nori. So you don't want to have too many. And you want to keep them all straight. Now, because they were cut, they will be easier to eat because they're not so... All right, so I have some sticking out on either end. And now I'm going to put some of the carrot. You want equal amount carrot and cucumber. And now you could make a triple one and put a thing of daikon radish in there too. So you could have a nice, really nice combo roll. That would be nice. All three in there. We'll just stick with these first two for this one. Now, you want to make sure that it's equal throughout. So it seems a bit plump in the middle, so I'm going to take these smaller pieces here and even it out. And then this is the fun part. This 1-inch band that you left free, you're going to wet your finger and wet this so that it'll stick when you roll it up. So you want it wet enough that it will stick when you roll it. And then you're going to start to roll. And you start back here. Roll this over. This is why you need the mat. And let's see if I can do this one-handed. All right, you want it really tight. And you use the mat to roll it up as you go. All right, so I'm rolling this up, doing it one-handed. Let's see if I can get it. And get it all the way completely over. And I'm squeezing as I go to make it compact. Now, I'm not a sushi master. I did make it a little fatter in the middle. Uh-oh, but should be okay. All right, and now you can see it's completely glued together. All right, and so this roll is done, but now we need to slice it. So you need to slice it. We have our chef knife, and we're gonna dip it into the water. You wanna dip it so the beads of water are still coming off, okay? And we're gonna find the midpoint. We're gonna slice it in half.